Hi, so today I want to talk about my update for my bridge. You can see I am smiling. Look at that. So happy. And this day my video is about my tooth club, because that's the company that I used to get all my bridge work done after a lot of research. So that's what I'm going to talk about today if you are interested. So after I felt tooth coming out, my old tooth, which was not a real tooth, after this protocol was to go to my dentist. Good dentist, nothing bad to say about them. They glued it, or not glued it, cemented it, whatever it is they do, back in. But that cost me a lot of money, just under £100 actually, £85. And less than 6 hours later, it was out again. Now, that they did say to me it might not stay in for long, and I had to be aware of that. But in my mind, not staying in for very long was more than 6 hours. And anyway, to put it back in again, they were going to charge me another £85. And then I just thought, well, I can pay another £85 and it might last another 6 hours, and I'm throwing more money away because I knew that this was going to cost me a fortune anyway. So that's really when I started doing my research. With that dentist, they did give me all the information on getting a new bridge done. And she told me roughly what that would cost and what that would involve. But again, at that dentist, they were then going to charge me £245 or £250 for a consultation with the dentist for him to go through it in more detail. So that's what I was going to do. But like anything, if you're spending a lot of money, you want to do a bit more research. And every day when I go home, I do drive past the tooth club company, which I never really noticed before. You don't look for these things, you don't need them, you don't see them. So I'd never noticed them before. But anyway, because I drove past them, it then stood out to me and I contacted them. Now they do things a bit differently, so I would say a little bit more modern. It's not for everybody, but I rang them and they do their consultations for free. And the reason theirs are free is because they do it online, on like a WhatsApp video. Well, I work on Teams every day in my life at work and hold meetings all the time on Teams, so I do know that I trust that process and I'm happy to do something like that. So I thought, well, it's free, got nothing to lose. So I did have a really in-depth meeting with a lady. Now, I knew my gums were okay, I knew there was no structural damage because I had already been seen at the dentist and I'm seen regular. So I would say that if you have concerns that there's anything really seriously wrong, or you're not sure about your gums or anything, but I was confident that I was okay like that. So I had my consultation, which was with a nurse specialist. So she was a senior nurse, my age group, had done that job day in, day out. She'd give consultations and she'd been a senior dental nurse for absolutely years. I asked her all that at the beginning. She gave me all my information. There was no pressure to book an appointment with them. Contacting was easy because it was all done over WhatsApp. So she gave me her number if I had any questions. I just literally WhatsApped her. And at first I was a bit, this is a bit different. You're not going into a dentist and seeing them. But I felt really comfortable, so I went with it. And after a lot of thought, and then I'm looking up reviews and all the stuff that you do, just like if you was to book a holiday or buy something, you look up all your reviews, don't you? Cut a long story short, I obviously decided to go with them. So I did pay my deposit and book my appointment, and then the rest is history really. Went for my first appointment to Carlos Antonio see me for both my visits. Such a nice dentist, made me feel really comfortable and at ease, and as his assistant and all the reception staff there, just absolutely everybody, I can't fault them. They just made me feel comfortable. But I'm sure that would be the case whichever dentist you go to, but I did feel comfortable there. Plus it was a plus because I loved all the pink. The whole surrounding is in pink, so I quite like that. So my first visit to them was basically him taking all the moulds that they do. You know, they take the moulds. So I think that was I can't remember if it was a 20-minute or a half an hour appointment. So they took all the impressions, the moulds of my mouth, and just I felt like I was in there forever. You know, when they take the moulds out, you literally feel like the rest of your teeth are going to come out when they pull that mould out. But anyway, it didn't hurt. I had a couple of injections in my mouth just to make sure that, you know, tiny little pinprick injections. It wasn't painful at all, I would say, actually. And it made me feel totally at ease for that appointment. He did say it would be 4 weeks, so why they made the mold until my temporary was ready. So that was a bit, I don't know, in my head I sort of thought a week or something like that. So I was quite surprised it was going to be a month, but nonetheless, that's what it was. So I waited for the month and didn't have my tooth for the whole month. I ended up quite embracing not having the tooth, but anyway, that's what I did. And then yesterday went back for my fitting of that said tooth. So yesterday was a longer appointment. It was a 30-minute appointment before, so I didn't really know what to expect. Got there yesterday and staff were amazing, lovely, felt really comfortable. Nice to see Dr. Antonio Carlos. He explained everything that he was going to do. Now, what I hadn't realised that they're going to do is they actually grind down your normal teeth. So he gave me 3 little injections into the roof of my mouth, and then he proceeded to grind down my teeth, which didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. You just feel a vibration, really. But if you're nervous with the dentist, be aware that they're going to do that. But they were lovely, and it really doesn't hurt. And I put my tongue on my tooth after. Oh my God, they felt like sharp triangles really coming down. So I dread to think what they look like, and I didn't ask to look because I didn't want to know what they looked like. As long as the finished product looked okay, I wasn't interested in that. Took another mould of my mouth, and then went through the process of putting the temporary bridge in, which actually took longer than I thought. I asked what's the difference between this one and the one that I'm going to go back for. And basically, so this one is not as strong. I do need to be careful. The last thing I want is this one to break. I would normally have to go back in 3 weeks, but due to holidays, people have got booked off 5 weeks. So I've got 5 weeks, which I'm more than happy to live with this. To be fair, this one looks better than my permanent one that I had last time. So I really am happy with that. And if I eat an apple or a crusty roll or anything like that, I should be fine. But it's not as strong. He re-colour matched me. I let him choose the colour. He knows what he's doing. He showed me. And so basically now I will go back in 5 weeks' time and get my permanent one fitted. That shouldn't really look much different from this. To Antonio Carlos, your assistant, your reception staff, all of you at Housestead Tooth Club, you are all been absolutely fantastic and friendly and welcoming, and more importantly, the final product is what I paid for and what I'm really happy with. Thank you for following my journey to get my smile back. Shouting your name from the rooftops because I'm super happy with the work that you've done for me. But be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Have a lovely day. Getting my smile back has been a massive boost to my confidence, just like losing my weight has been a massive boost to my confidence. If you'd like to watch how I've done that and boosted my confidence, please click the link below to my other videos, and I'll see you there.